How's it going, everybody? This is going to be the first of a 5-video series. We're going to be talking about the best characters of each trait to level up as you go through your journeys, leveling up to 100. Because we do have this race to the top event happening right now where we have 40 days to level up 10 characters from each trait. And me and Mobile Gamer are going to break down the best characters for the Mystic and Mutant trait. Hope you enjoyed. If you do, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. And as promised, I'm here with Mr. Mobile Gamer. How's it going, brother?
We're doing it. We're getting ready for this amazing event. It's going to be fun. Level 100. We have 40 days to get as much rewards as possible. Let's go.
That's it. 40 days to get as much as possible. We're super pumped for this. And in this video, Mobile's going to break down his top 10 Mystic characters. I'm going to break down my top 10 Mutant characters. Let's not waste any time. Mr. Mobile Gamer, let's talk about your picks here. Starting with Spider Weaver. What do we feel about Spider Weaver?
This is an amazing character right here. Just the ultimate alone, having stun plus trauma. Amazing, right? There's three characters: Dormammu, Black Cat, and Spider Weaver have stun plus trauma. Very, very helpful when you going up against like Apocalypse, right? You need it.
And she also has a very interesting charge mechanic where she just decreases everyone's accuracy by 100%, and she's great plug and play. She doesn't need a team around her with Thor with 2099. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Next up on the docket, we got Quicksilver.
Because why not? Because why not? Quicksilver is amazing, right? His turn meter, his speed bar can't get removed, which is great. He can remove charge. He can hit twice per turn while he has charge and strip away positive effects. He could do a lot of damage. He's kind of scary. I love this guy.
Yeah, he's very scary. When you have extra red stars on him, he's big. You were talking a little bit earlier how that might also be his downfall, though. When we start getting further in the game, maybe his stats fall off, but he still peels off charges. Maybe he'll be like Surfer, where, you know, Surfer's not great, but he has some niche uses. Quicksilver in the future might come in with a turn meter rewind, strip some charges. Could be interesting still, but for right now, he definitely makes the meta conversation. All right, Vol. Oh, this is a character we both kind of wince at whenever we talk about her, right?
I'm not sure about Vol. I mean, Vol, of course, is great in raids, but I don't think you need to upgrade the Bifrost to get much done in raids, right? Like you were saying, 1.3 million to get through the hardest difficulty. The feeling about Vol is the exposed mechanic may get better and larger over time. Exposed itself doesn't do anything. The passives on Vol defined what Exposed does when she's on the team with Exposed, and the same thing with Super Skrull. Now, Nightcrawler has the ability to apply Exposed, and he has a benefit when he does a basic attack into Exposed, but Nightcrawler's passive doesn't call out Exposed. So we're wondering if there's going to be a fourth and a fifth Exposed character going forward, but Vol's kind of slow. I mean, I use Vol sometimes in Crucible. Vol's on defense inside of Alliance War, which is kind of uneventful unless you put Dormammu on there, but still it weighs around that anyways.
Yeah, it's at 127 speed without having speed bar or speed up on spawn in the current meta. She kind of struggles, but we had to include her on this list because, I mean, Dark Dimension, which we don't really talk about in this video, she's good there. Raids, she's the heart of the team, and she's an original character, so maybe she'll get used elsewhere. But let's talk about somebody who's not questionable at all.
Yes! Ghost Rider's amazing. I love this guy. You said earlier that you might like Ghost Rider Robbie more than Black Cat. I'll tell you this. When I fight against Secret Defenders, I'm going after Robbie first because, first of all, he dies a lot quicker. But secondly, he just does a lot more damage. And then you brought up all the bonus speeds and bleeds and all that stuff is amazing, right?
Yeah, I mean, any kind of character that gets speed bar on any sort of debuff, let alone bleeds, which lots of characters have bleeds, piques my interest at 10% speed bar. That's not like Ghost Rider's 3%. So all of a sudden, he's popping off. He's fast in his own right. He's flipping bust, doing ability block. He's flipping all your bluffs.
And he runs people over. He runs people over. It's the best. You got to do it.
He's a menace in these streets. He doesn't stop at any red lights at all. Speaking of red lights, Dormammu, listen, kind of crept out. Again, he's got the speed issue, but he comes with an interesting mechanic. We have to do him right now for Dark Dimension 7 because of that mythic tag. And if he does reach his ult, hey, say goodbye to your team, right? He's kind of interesting still.
Yeah, the revive is good, specifically in, let's say, War, when you're on offense paired up with Undying. Super cool. Plus, He's got that super cool stun plus trauma. He gets charged, and then when the charges pop off, he's gonna flip the positive effects into negative effects, which is a big deal, specifically because a lot of them will flip into bleeds, which then triggers with zombie Iron Man. So I mean, this guy's just got a lot. He's plug and play, right? He's great.
Oh, plug and play for sure. And he's going to have life because of that revive mechanic alone. Speaking of people who have been great for a very long time, but some stat issues maybe. We got Icarus coming. How are we feeling about Icarus? Where are you using him?
Okay, so I'm using Icarus in War and in Cosmic Crucible. On offense, situational, also amazing. The thing I'm worried about him is that couldn't be power crept out, but if you have a strong enough Icarus and he gets that kill, it repeats the attack. Always amazing. Turn meter removal, when paired up with Cersei, of course, is very useful. Like almost always. I love this guy. It's just, you got to keep the stats up on this. I mean, I'm wondering when this guy becomes a wet noodle, how much we're going to use him just for the turn meter removal. But for right now, still does a lot of damage.
Yeah, like the downside of Icarus as a plug-and-play character for that turn meter removal is he needs to be with Cersei. That's 2 slots on your team gone. But it's also 50% turn meter rewind. So it's still interesting, and in today's meta, Eternals aren't going anywhere. Unfortunately, that movie bombed. There's no talk of Eternals 2, so I don't think we'll get a rework or them added. And I don't think Ultimus or Thanos are going to be added anytime soon. They seem to have no interest in that whatsoever, interestingly enough. We got another character here. Was the best character in the game for quite a while. Still very interesting. We got turn meter rewind for days plus turn meter gain for every enemy turn, which I guess is days as well. Talk to me about Morgan Le Fay. How are we feeling about her?
Okay, so I feel like Morgan Le Fay also has a similar conversation as Red Hulk, right? They themselves are amazing characters, and they will have a longer shelf life than their respective teams because they can be paired up with Apocalypse. So I don't think this conversation is about Darkhold or Gamma necessarily. This is about Morgan Le Fay. Her basic is scary. She heals herself back up. Her special drops the turn meter and takes advantage of that. Her ultimate does all kinds of horrible things. Like, she's scary, right? And she will continue to be scary.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And we never got to play with the 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse. It might be down the line where we have Red Hulk with Morgan Le Fay and Apocalypse. Lots of speed meter happen between them, both positively for them and negatively for the enemies. I can see that eventually being what we always wanted to have. We wanted to play with the Horsemen, but we'll see how that goes. And then we got this guy. Now this is a pretty interesting character.
Two tags. So the vent is gonna, we're guessing. I would think, why not? You're gonna get bonuses for tech and Mystic, right? So there you go, no brainer, right? I think this is gonna be great. Now, I am a little bit skeptical of this mythic conversation and him being useful in DD7 because he has the same unique as Dormammu. So gear tier 19, we're assuming is going to be the requirement to get into Dark Dimension 7, which means we're going to get the red uniques. They are going to be scarce as all get out, and is going to be my guess. And I don't know if a lot of people are going to have the luxury of being able to take both. Doom is going to be a good character for a long time because not only does his get energy and turn meter when he drops below 50%, which then means he's doing a turn 1 ultimate, giving 300 speed bar to the next King and to the next Apocalypse and the next Super Scroll will be important. The Mephisto, right? We don't know. It's going to be a big deal.
That's it. Like when you talk about the Eternals, we talk about Cersei with Icarus, we talk about 2099 with Spider-Weaver. Doom is kind of that power duo couple for whatever the next best character is, if he can give them 3 turns. So that's very interesting. Speaking of Cersei, we got her on this list. We don't really talk about this much.
Yeah.
She works with Icarus.
She works with, to Spider-Weaver, we've got 2099. To Icarus, we've got Cersei. I mean, they're duos, right? They kind of go hand in hand. Kit-based, so I don't know if Cersei needs the stats. Wouldn't be a top pick, but it's definitely worth considering.
Yep, couldn't agree more. And then finally, we got Hela here. I love the Undying team. Amazing team. Lots of bleeds, but it's a lot of kit-based stuff happening there.
Yes.
Talk to me about Hela.
Yes. All right, so this is kit-based. Doesn't have to be a top pick, but the idea here is that I'm predicting that we're going to get more Undying characters in the fall during Halloween. Maybe we'll get an Undying Scarlet Witch or, whatever, zombie Scarlet Witch. So that's the idea, is that this could be a very long team. Currently, the Undying is being very useful, of course, in war, but also Cosmic Crucible. And I am not reluctant to put resources in this team. I will say this, however, Zombie Juggernaut needs every bit of stats you can give him. The more, the better. He is a no-brainer top priority, where Hela and Zombie Iron Man kind of lean to being kit-based.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And here's the thing. We always get super hype at Halloween whenever the next zombie comes out. People are screaming for Zombie Scarlet Witch, screaming for Zombie Captain America, screaming for Zombie everything. So I 100% agree with you.
Whatever, yeah.
This team is going to last a very, very long time. But that's it for your Mystic picks. Like, I don't hate it myself. I'm going to talk about it later with another creator, but I lean really heavy into Crucible. I really talk about those new warriors with a lot of life and a passion. But for my part, let's talk about mutants. Tell me about your 5 favorite mutants in the game right now.
Okay, I think right now the Extreme team is a no-brainer. Amazing in war, amazing, of course, in Crucible, and they're vital for raids. And then you've got characters that are probably going to have life even outside of this team, like Gambit and Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler might even be a arena viable character. I feel like Gambit and Nightcrawler are going to be here for a long time, especially if they expand on the X-Men tag in the same way that they did with a Sinister Six. I'm just a huge fan of Nightcrawler and Gambit, and the 5 of them, you got to do it. Run, don't walk. I feel like Mutant is probably the easiest of the 5 tags to pick out, because some of them were hard, right? Skill was hard. Guess what was not hard to pick out? Mutant. Mutant was super simple.
Yeah, I mean, the Extreme team, there's so much health triggers on them. Nightcrawler drops low, he gets protected. Gambit drops low, he gets protected. Anyone drops low, Forge gets speed bar, revives them, bunch of buffs. They are a nightmare on the defensive side. They destroy the raids. Since they're new to this raid tier, you can expect them to work in the next raid tier, like Pegasus did, like Bifrost did. So there's a lot of life for Extreme. Makes a lot of sense. And then we got this guy. This big blue bastard. He is everywhere still, right? Apocalypse, second best character in the game, hands down, not even an argument.
Yep. Second best character in the game. This is not a hard one to do at all. Like, yeah. Do we need to talk about the merits of Apocalypse and Super Scroll? I mean, come on.
Not really. Punch hard, punch often. That's what they both do, right?
Yes.
All right, then. This one threw you for a little bit of a loop. For me, I really liked Omega Red.
I don't know. I got some issues with it, but I think, obviously I see the value of max health steal. You know, that's going to scale well over time. Mm-hmm. Trauma plus ability guys good. I found that I've ran into focus issues, speed issues. Mm-hmm. If I can get the ultimate to pop off, it generally feels good, but I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. His speed being at 120 without any speed bar or speed up on spawn is tough. If he reaches a special, then he gets speed up, but he seems to need some partners around him. There's kind of this this air atmosphere as far as mutants go, where we don't know about any kind of reworks that Mobile Gamer alluded to earlier. We did get a blog saying that X-Men reworks were coming, and then we've heard nothing since. It's kind of radio silent. Speaking of mutants that would probably get a rework if there was one, Rogue, right?
Yeah, I think Rogue is a safe bet going forward. It just says a X-Men. I think the Unlimited team is in shambles going forward. I'm not really thrilled about the other 3, but Gambit has been moved to Extreme, and the thing is that Rogue is very plug-in playable. Well, I don't know if that's a word, but you know what I'm trying to say. She works great.
100%, yeah. I don't even know what team Unlimited. Who's on the Unlimited team? I don't even remember.
Can't remember. Yeah. I don't remember those guys. There was a Luchadora guy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember them. But I know Rogue. I know Gambit. They would definitely make the list of reworks that you would want to see. And Rogue just plugging in with that Extreme team in multiple modes, it still makes a lot of sense. She's a no-brainer, in my opinion, to go on your leveling journey. Speaking of more no-brainers, Hardlight.
Yeah.
Secret Defender team, great. But you were talking about something else that she does that's amazing that she does on her own. So why don't you speak on that?
Yeah, just right now today, she's good and very good. Very good, defining in 3 game modes. Well, the Secret Defenders are, right? Mm-hmm. Arena, Alliance War, and Crucible. However, I think she might even be useful longer term because of what you're showing here on the screen is kind of a soft counter to Apocalypse. Apocalypse does his ultimate, gets empowered, then does a super basic, and she usually can eat that. And she auto taunts. So unless she has a disrupted on her, this is going to happen when Apocalypse does his ultimate.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very interesting. And she also does a nice little turn meter rewind on her ultimate. So she's got other parts of her kit that make her very
And
curious.
she's thick. She's thick.
I don't know how old she is, so I'm not going to flip her around.
Oh, I don't even know. I was talking about her stats and her health.
Okay. All right, moving on to Firestar.
I was talking about. What are you talking about? What do you think about Firestar?
She's thick.
I don't know, man. I didn't know this was that kind of video. My goodness.
No, she's thick in the damage department. She's got a good 125,000 damage. I love this character. I was talking earlier about New Warriors. One of my favorite thing about them is that they just explode things, and Firestar explodes things with her ultimate. It does bleeds, it does trauma. It's very, very useful. You are very often using them against Gamma in Crucible. I found I sometimes use it against Secret Defenders, and because we were talking about Hardlight and how that team is useful everywhere, everyone has a giant Secret Defenders. So I needed to build up my New Warriors to kind of match that, and I think that's going to remain to be the case. But we'll see. Right. We don't know what the Crucible room rules will be. The Crucible room rules, for all we know, is if Secret Defender tag is here, New Warriors is not allowed to attack it. We don't know what the rooms are going to be, right? But
don't know.
I love this character. I really do.
I think it's undisputable that Firestar is useful in Crucible and kind of one of the key members of that team. But outside, I know, right? I mean, I'm not getting use of Firestar outside of Crucible, so I'm a little bit reluctant to dump a bunch of resources.
Yeah, fair enough. And I guess we also got to talk about the red man of mischief himself, Deadpool, because we did a poll earlier. Now we're gonna do it again. We're gonna vote.
Yeah, but they're gonna give him the Scarlet Witch treatment, so it's not gonna matter. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, but maybe maybe Pandapool will be a mutant for all we know. I have no idea what they're gonna do with Pandapool. But
I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. What I want to talk about here is 40 days is a long time. There could be new mutants that come out during that time. There could be new mystic characters that come out during that time. And that's going to be another video that we're going to get to make for you guys if that happens, if we're replacing people from these lists. Mobile Gamer, thank you so much for coming and hanging out, giving me your list and listening to mine and making me make an inappropriate joke.
Yo, where's your brain at on this? Never mind.
So guys, we did a video on Mobile Gamer's channel as well where we actually did the top 48 characters, breaking down all the traits. Make sure you go check that out. It'll be a link in the description below and the first pinned comment. Anything you want to say before we take off, Mobile?
I love everybody, especially you, dorky dad.
Aw, Valentine's Day is coming up. Love you too, buddy. Bye! That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.